it's Caitlyn with Kaleideum, and for 4th of July this year, we are going to do a fun activity for the entire family. It is called Fireworks in a Jar. So let's get started. The things that you'll need to collect for this activity will be a glass jar. You can use a plastic cup as well, just something with a wide mouth for easy pouring. Some warm water from the sink. You'll need some vegetable oil or any kind of oil really. And some food coloring of your favorite colors, as well as a bowl to start mixing. So let's get started. Our first step is to take our vegetable oil and add 2 to 3 tablespoons into a cup or a bowl. Next, we want to take our favorite food colorings and drop just a few drops in there. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue. I'm going to use some red. And when you drop your second color, make sure you're not dropping them directly on top of your other colors. We want to keep them separated in our oil. Did about 4 drops of red. I'm going to take this yellow color and just do a few in the middle. Now, using a fork or a knife or anything you have available, we are just going to mix up our colors to try to break the larger dots into smaller dots. So I'm just going to scratch at them here a little bit. I'm going to mix them up. Just to break them up so we don't have any more big blobs. All right, once you're done with that, you should get little tiny dots that look like that. Now we're going to take our big jar with the wide mouth and we are going to add our warm water about 3/4 of the way up your jar. Make sure you leave enough room so we have space to put our oil. Our next step is to take our oil and food coloring and pour it right on top. You might need help from your little mixing stick to get it all in there. Now, the fun thing about oil and water is that they don't mix. Oil is a lot lighter than water. And now you can start to watch as the water is starting to pull all of the food coloring down to it, creating a beautiful, dazzling firework display. So what's happening here is that our food coloring is water-based. It's not oil-based, so it's not going to hang around in that oil. It's actually going to be a little bit heavier than the oil, so it's going to fall from the lighter oil on top. And as it does that, it creates these beautiful little sparks that look like tiny little fireworks in our glass. And you can try this at home with warm water and see if your fireworks go faster, and maybe with cold water and see if they go slower. And you can also try different colors to see what your end color will look like as well. Mine's a little bit of a bluish color because I added a lot of blue food coloring. But how do real fireworks get their color? So when we watch real fireworks on 4th of July or any other holiday, we are actually seeing a little bit of an explosion, but also a little bit of chemistry. So this is just a model of a firework that I made, and you can make one of these at home too with just a toilet paper roll and a cone on top and some pretty little dangly ribbon at the bottom. But when we're thinking about real fireworks, they usually have a cylinder like this, that's the body, and some kind of a cone to help it go up into the air and fly a little bit better. The fun thing is inside, we have a little canister or a little circle that's filled with something called powdered charcoal. Now that powdered charcoal actually acts as like a gunpowder. So when we light a fuse, it reacts with that gunpowder, and that gunpowder also mixes with oxygen, not so much in the air, but from another chemical inside, and that reaction produces carbon dioxide, which allows it to force itself down and propel our rocket forward using Newton's third law of motion. So inside of that little canister, we have a little bit of charcoal. We also have some potassium nitrate, but we also have a different kind of chemical to produce those colors. So when we see a white firework, that's actually called incandescent. And you might have heard that word when we're talking about light bulbs. It's a white light. And how that's produced is little tiny atoms, and atoms that make up everything in the world. Those atoms actually get excited. And when they get excited, they go to a higher state and they just release all of their energy through a photon, which we see as light. So those are the white fireworks that we see. But what about the colored fireworks? There's something else going on here. So with a colored firework, we still have the base, the fuel of the powdered charcoal, but we also add things like copper, which make a blue color that reacts with the environment, and it actually is able to create a blue light. And that's something we call luminescence. So luminescence is similar to incandescence, but we actually get to a higher state and then lower back down and release a photon. We get excited into a higher state and then come back down and release a photon. So it's a little bit different processes compared to incandescence, but luminescence actually creates different colors for us depending on which chemical we add inside. So like I said, copper is very similar, or very common for blue fireworks. Strontium is for red fireworks. We also have things like sodium that produce yellow fireworks. We also have things like calcium that produce orange colors in our fireworks as well. So that's just a little bit of science behind the colors of fireworks, but I hope you can try this activity at home and give us a shout out on Kaleideum and let us know how your fireworks turn out and if you see any fireworks this 4th of July.